Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Pro Music Creator. Today I'm doing something a little different. This is pretty much unscripted. Woke up today and checked out the Billboard top pop charts, and I saw that Miley Cyrus's Flowers song is like #1 up on that chart this week. So I thought I'd do something that kind of feels like that song, has a little bit of that type of feel to it, and I'm gonna jump into Ableton and show you exactly how I did it. I was going back and forth between the actual song and what I was doing in Ableton, trying out different sounds and so on, and came up with something. Hope you like it. If you like videos like this type of video, let me know down in the comments, and I'll be happy to do more videos like this where I take a song, kind of mimic it, and break it down. In the future, who knows, I might add some words to this song and maybe even produce it if I could find a singer that's willing to sing on it, that likes the song, that wants to make it their own. If you're that person, let me know, contact me, and let's see what we can make happen. But anyway, without further ado, let's jump into Ableton and see what I did. All right, guys, so here we are inside of Ableton Live. So this particular song, Flowers, starts off with it's like a crackling sound. It sounds like a old record being played. So I needed something, and I actually have something by Isotope, which is a plugin has a plugin called Vinyl. It used to be a free download, not sure if it still is, but in any case, this is what the plugin looks like when you bring it up and you start it up. It basically gives you these different ages, so depending on the age that you select, I guess depends on how much crackle and noise you get out of the record. So you've got like 1930s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 2000. So I chose 1960s for this, and then played around a little bit with the warping, scratching, and dust, and some of the other parameters until I got it to have this sound. So that's the first sound that you'll hear when I play the actual full song. Next thing I did was try to listen for what they were doing on this song with the bass, specifically the bass line in there. And I wanted something that had kind of that bassy type of, analog type of sound to it. And so I'll play for you what that sounded like. So that sound is actually a combination of a couple of things that are going on. The first thing I did was I brought up a sound inside of Omnisphere let's see if I can bring this up. So inside of Omnisphere, so I selected this solid bass sound, and if I mute the other sound that I have, you can hear it all by itself there. Okay, and then I brought up another sound in here from this other plugin that I have, which is it's actually the soft synth version of it's the Korg Triton. So it's the Korg synth version of the Triton, which looks like this. And I found this other sound in there, which gave me a different tone. So it made it a little bit more fatter. So I put both those sounds together. Okay, so let's hear what's the first thing that I created here, which was this actual bass line. Make sure all tracks are stopped so I can just play this bass for you. Okay, so once I had that, now I started to play with some of the other sounds. I went back to listen, and at the intro, so I had this already nailed down. I was okay. I'm pretty happy with that bass line. It's similar to the original song in that it kind of follows that little groovy type of rhythm to it, but different, you know, key, different chord progression, and so on. Just enough to make it different from the original one. But I noticed that in the original one has an intro that plays that has like kind of a special effects sound along with the crackling in the beginning, and then you hear this extra sound effects and it picks up right into the initial bass, the initial verse of the song. So along with the crackling, I was looking for a sound for that special effects, and I came up with this. So it's actually an omnisphere sound again for that particular sound. And let's go take a look at that. So that one's called Science Class. That was the sound that I thought would go well with it. And you'll hear it throughout the song a couple of more times. All right, so now let's look at the other sound that I came up with, which is like the second part of that intro that you'll hear in there. And that's what it sounds like. All right, so that sound was Analog Lab, which is a Arturia sound plugin. And if we open that up, so this is what the plugin looks like, and that was the sound that I ended up using for it. And so when we listen back, we get that sound effects going through it. Okay. All right, so next, so that was my intro. So if I play that piece of it, you hear it all together. And then that leads into the verse, so the first verse. So now notice I've organized all of my rows here so that, you know, as I start lining up all my ideas, I was creating clips, and then once I had a good idea where I was going with the song, I took the clips and copied them to different clips and extended them, modified them, etc. And once I started to then get into my arrangement, I started to then create these scenes for each one where I could name them. And once I was ready to go into arrangement mode, I could then play them straight through. I bounced around a little bit between like verse 2 back to chorus and so on. But for the most part, I went straight down the line, making it easy for myself to put together the arrangement, and then I'll take you into the actual arrangement window at the end, and I'll show you how that all got composed up. So, okay, so next thing was verse 1. So for verse 1, I already had the bass line as I played for you earlier, was that bass line there. And the song starts off very, very simple. It's just a bass line and what sounded to me like some kind of electric piano in the background of the song. So it gave me the idea to go ahead and bring up Keyscape. Gave me an excuse actually to bring up Keyscape, which has some awesome sounding pianos, and they have actually a pretty good Rhodes piano that I love listening to and playing around with. And so let's bring this up here so you can see what the choice was that I made. And so you see there, the option that I chose was this amp wide tremolo, which sounded really cool. So let's listen to that so you can hear it. And of course, I threw a little delay in there. I didn't actually add too many effects or any kind of processing to this. I just wanted to show you guys the raw data, MIDI data, and so forth. And I can take you in so you can see some of that stuff as well. So like, let's go here. You can actually see how I arranged some of this inside here. So yeah, very simple, couple of chords, played around with the chords until I heard something that I really liked. And then when you add it together, so let's stop this, and I'm gonna play the whole scene. All right, so that's the first part of the verse. So now the second part of the verse pretty much copied what I had on the first part and then added the sound effects towards the end. You'll hear that come back. And I have that Omnisphere lead that also comes back in there. And then I started to throw in some drums. So for the drums, I just went very simple and went to the sets of drums that are offered by Ableton, and played around with a couple of them until I found something that I really liked. Can't remember where the heck I selected. Oh, there it is. So this was the, so I thought that was pretty cool. Sounded kind of just raw and nasty, and I thought that it would add a nice little flavor to the rest of the stuff. Since the rest of the stuff is kind of clean, this would kind of raw it up a little bit more. So okay, so all right, so for the drums, again, didn't do much. I do have, I should have mentioned this, I do have this console one that I use here in the studio. I'll give you guys a walkthrough in one of the upcoming videos. But basically, this thing allows me to throw on a compressor right from my desk so that I can play with the knobs and get a sound that I'm looking for out of the, with the equalizer and compressor and so on. I can shape up the sound, I can add more drive and so on. And there's all kinds of plugins that I can put on here. I can change every single one of these sections up. If you've never seen console one before, I'm actually planning to have a bunch of videos showing, you know, the basic functionality as well as some of the things that I've learned since I've been using it. And I'm sure you guys, you know, that do own one of these probably have tons of information that you can share with us as well on the channel, or I'm hoping you will, so that we all learn together. Next thing, after the drums, I started to then pick up a lead. The song itself has a lead in it, and so I wanted a lead sound. And again, I turned to the Triton and pulled up another one of their sounds called Wild Arp, and it's this very, very cool stuff. All right, and then I have the piano come back in here as well, and I added a couple of slaps and so forth from another drum kit that I found actually inside of Ableton. It's called Jarble, and I'll play a little bit of that. Actually, let me stop this and just play the whole scene. So you can hear the drums now starting to come in. Jarble kit will come up in the end there. Yep, so you heard a little bit of it at the very end there. If I show you the MIDI, there's not a lot inside there, just that little bang right at the very end there. The rest of the drums are all inside of this first track here with all the drums. So that's what's taking care of the drums. So that's pretty much all of the sounds that I used. The rest of it was just simply, you know, coming up with new arrangements and so on. There was actually one more sound that I added towards one of the parts in here. And it's provided by this Prophet. Oh, and there is actually one more. Let's see here. there is actually one more that's provided by Contact, and that's this sound here, which you'll hear as part of the bridge in the song. Okay, so now going back to this Prophet, just wanted something that had that classic analog sound to it. Oops. Okay. So that's pretty much all the sounds, and the rest of it is just simply the arrangements. Now, when it came to making the arrangements, you know, for those of you that are unfamiliar with creating arrangements in Ableton, you just simply, as I did here, set up your scenes with that will contain all of your different clips, and then the best way to do it is to simply line them up. I didn't do any automation or anything inside of the song. Pretty much went raw from here. Like I said before, very little effects, very little compression or anything like that, very little reverb or delay. And then I hit the record button, and as soon as I hit the record button, went to the first scene and started the song up. And so now I will turn over here. So what I recorded was everything you see here onto this onto the arrangement view, and I gave it a little gap in the front so you can hear that crackle sound at the very beginning, and then it goes out and plays a little bit of the crackle sound before I stop the song. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the whole thing for you so you can get a feel for what it sounds like. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. And again, if you like videos like this, let me know, and I'll be happy to do more stuff like this. So anyway, give it a hear and let me know what you think.